Good evening, Chocolate Pool fans. We made it back. Sorry, I apologize for last week. And it is show number 200. Took us a couple weeks to get here, but uh, to get to show 200 aired. But anyway, just, it's that time of the year. The bugs through the hospital. When wife works at the hospital, it comes home and she's sick right now, pretty good. And I'm above 50%. We'll say that anyway. But we're both on medicine, so hopefully all goes well. Anyway, we appreciate everybody being here tonight. We got a kind of a special show here tonight. We got some people that'll be joining us here shortly. Micek pulling team again headed overseas to pull. They'll be with us tonight. They're on their way home from church service now, and I told them to take their time and don't be in any big rush because I'm going to go over the results from this past Sunday's rain date that was used at Pennsylvania, Leonardtown, Maryland, the Battle by the Bay event. Great event, great hospitality down there. I love going there. It's my second year now, and I look forward to going back there again and again and again. It's a great facility. I really enjoy going down there. Great people, and we'll go over some results with that. How's Dwayne tonight?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. First thing I got to say, congratulations on the 200. I
Yeah,
obviously haven't been here for all the 200, but that's quite a milestone, and hopefully there's many more. How am I
yeah.
doing? I'm doing okay. I don't have the sickness, so I'm running at 100% right now.
Turn
Uh,
around and look behind you. You have the sickness. Oh, you can't. You can't. That's a
I'm
background
sorry.
thing.
I shouldn't jinx myself.
You have the pulling sickness behind you.
Yeah, I have it in. I have an issue. I have a pulling issue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
everything's going good. Getting ready
thank
for
God.
yeah, getting excited about the warmer weather and ready for getting some pulls. We got some of our schedule stuff lined up for the push and limit pulling team. So if we
Okay.
get everything together, we'll do a test hook and then we'll be off to the races.
Cool deal.
Got a got a new spinny thing on there. We blew ours up last year. Ran a spare, put a
New whistle.
new turbo, a new whistle on it, and getting that all uh, put together so that it's within the new rules. So yeah, doing good.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got my eyeballs on that honky tonk 300 for this Saturday night. I'm not quite sure yet because providing Cindy gets in the next couple of days gets to feeling better, she's got a pair of 12-hour shifts this coming weekend. So it's kind of hard to get away from the parents. I don't know. I have to see what happens. I would like to go to Miller's Tavern for sure Saturday, but I'm not saying yay or nay right now. So anyway, Kendra will be joining us also. Kendra has just got through tax season. We all know how that goes for her, and she is at a ball game right now, but she should be in here about quarter after 8 or so, and she'll be in here to finish out the show with us as well. So I'm going to go ahead and run through these results, and a pretty good pool once again. We had some Dragon Motorsports classes. We had one East Coast Atlantic Pro Pulling class. I got to get used to Atlantic Pro Pulling. Sorry, Tara, if you're listening, but and some couple local classes and stuff there. Not a lot of hooks, unfortunately. People were still waiting on parts. Again, it was a rain date. It was a Sunday afternoon versus a Saturday night originally dated, so that makes a big difference. Some people just can't make them Sunday pools, especially you know if you're not local to the area. It's a long haul. We really enjoyed it. Enjoyed going down there. So first up, the 12,000 pound altered farm for Dragon Motorsports taking the win was Hunter Shiflett with the family hooker at 308.77. Second was let's see, Bill Balderson with international he calls retirement checks. I like that name. 303.81. Third, oh gosh, Kenny Bauer with Rip and Red at 303.19. Fourth was Hunter Shiflett again with the backwoods binder at 298.08. Fifth place, Kendra Henry with the Blue Maverick at 295.37. Sixth was Alan Berner with the 1066 called Topsoil at 285.37. And seventh was Wayne Balderson with the little tractor. It's a 786 International at 282.89. Let's see, and also finishing out the class. Okay, I did see that eighth. Logan Freeze with a 9600 Ford called Blue Fever at 76 feet even. He had clutch trouble. I know he did come out and make a run later in exhibition. I believe he made a successful pass, if I remember correctly. So I was actually back in the pits whenever the first part of that class ran. Next up was the 7,800 pound light pro stock Dragon Motorsports class. Yeah. Taking the win, Bradley Seal with Mother in Law's Nightmare, New Holland, 293.04. Second was Rusty Tanner with the Second Chance John Deere at 292.89. Third, Scott Becker driving the All About That Alice tractor at 283.91. It's Perrin Beans tractor. I don't know if they've been wrenching on it or doing whatever, but tractor
Scott
sounded pretty good.
back out again.
Scott Becker's was willing it. Dave Becker was there as well, and obviously Perrin was there because that's Perrin's backyard pretty much. So, but tractor run good. Um, made an exhibition pass later in the day too. So, next up was the 6,200 pound national 4x4 class. It's Dragon Motorsports. Taking the win was Mason Brizendine on cut loose at 314.64. Second was Jackson Kramer with Supernatural at 313.19. Third was Uncle Bill Kramer, with the Contender at 308.76. Fourth was John Richard Davis with the Seldom Seen Chevrolet. Ooh, it's gonna be a tongue twister. 306.34. Fifth was RB Moeller with To the Extreme at 304.09. Sixth, Brian Cubbage with the High Anxiety at 303.35. Seventh was Chrissy Moeller with the Black Sheep at 299.95. Eighth was RB Moeller with the truck they just purchased here not too long ago, I guess. The Chevrolet, no name yet. 296.91. And ninth was Caitlin Moeller with the Moeller Farm Chevrolet at 195.59. Good class of trucks.
Mm-hmm.
Next up was the Atlantic Pro Pulling ABC York 466 Hot Farm Tractors. 6 on hand. Again, a couple are not together. So we're going to go ahead and get into Tyree Cable. I mean, a monster run out of that binder, man. That thing was hauling the mail. Taking the win at 341.77. Second was Ray Norris with Pack and Heat at 331.72. Third, Luke Gladhill with the Weapon X John Deere at 316.21. Fourth, Alan Lynch with Betting on Green at 308 feet even. Fifth was Ray Norris when well armed at 295.25. And rounding out the class in sixth was Nelson Harding with the Road Gear Row Crop Ford at 294.41, having a little bit of a poof at the end of his run and kind of popped the hood open and came back down. And he did refire the tractor and drive it off the track, which that was good to see. So
that's good.
Yeah,
doing such a long drive to have trouble is not good.
Yeah. Hi, Lynn. Bobby Martin. Yay, man.
Let's see. So who is it? Ronald McDonald or is
Evening Ronald and Duante Beast? If he would learn how to spell it. It's Michael. We understand.
He doesn't. Yeah, he might.
Just let him think he is. That's all. I'm just kidding, Mike. Mikey did the filming for us. Got the season started off filming, so did a good job.
Well, that's good because I seen somebody was swinging a camera too.
Yeah, Robert Garaba. His icon Garaba. Yeah, Robert's. He actually went to Virginia with me and picked him up on the way down, and we filmed that weekend. He's a good guy to work with. I like Robert. Pretty good guy.
That's cool.
The state of Maryland pays him too much, but we won't get into that here. But anyway, after that class ran, we actually got into some exhibition runs and Tickin' Chicken, a former two-wheel drive, and I know Daryl Battle owns the Tickin' Chicken two-wheel drive. It has an economy modified, made a pull at 298.21. Scott Becker again hooked All About That Alice at 319.46. Little bit of a fire at the end of that run, but nothing too damaging. Logan Freeze came back with the Blue Fever altered farm. Went 261.86 with a working clutch this time. Locked up good. And Shane Scott with a New Holland Mod Turbo, even exhibition run at 296.23. So then we got into the street diesel 4x4 trucks. Not very many. Again, we had 6. Sundays. Sunday. It's hard to get people to come pull on Sunday. First place, Colton Kibler with a 01 Chevrolet at 294.52. Second was Alex Shipley with an 05 Ford 250 at 275.21. Third, Josh Alexander with an 06 Chevrolet, 262.66. Fourth was Mike Cole, I believe, 97 Ram at 235.48. Fifth was Cameron Rice with an 04 Chevy at 210.48. And sixth was Taryn Maker with an 03 Chevy at 151.70. And that was her second attempt. She made a run and they reset the sled and she came back last and couldn't get the boost up on the truck, unfortunately. So, and look who decided to join us. What would the show be without Club Kendra? Club Kendra, you're still functioning after tax day.
I am, and I'm trying to thaw out from sitting outside at a ball game all night. So
I was going to ask you, how was the wind?
Very cold.
Yeah, it's
very cold.
Very windy here too.
Yeah.
Man, everybody's coming in at once here. Anybody got high hopes? We got high hopes sitting in the background here.
As soon as the sun went down, it got pretty chilly.
Yeah.
I want to welcome in Lance and April Micek.
Hey, look at that. How you doing?
Get Garrett, the little team dog there.
And that's the boss. That's the boss. That's the team.
Yeah, that's why everybody follows him on Facebook.
Yep.
Yeah, right. He's the only reason.
He's the crew chief, man. I got one more class real quick of results, and then we'll get into the rest of the fun part of the show. Anyway, not that this was fun. I was just happy to be pulling again. Street semis, and there was one dump truck in the class. There's 6 of them here, so we'll run through these real quick. Taking the win was Ronnie Williams with his dump truck, a 99 Peterbilt at 323.20. Second was Brian Osborne with his 84 Kenworth at 285.64. Third was Richard Hayden with an 86 Ford LTL 9000, Dwayne, 285.35. Fourth, David Adams with an 06 Kenworth, 273.46. Mark Turner was fifth with a W900 Kenworth at 254.64, and rounding out the class, Ethan Beal with an International Pro Star at 239.28. And that wrapped up what was a good little pool down there at a place called Battle by the Bay in Leonardtown, Maryland, St. Mary's Fairgrounds, St. Mary's County Fairgrounds. And love going down there, man. It's a lot of fun. If you haven't been there, you should put it on your bucket list. It's a little bit of a drive, Lance, but come on down. That's quite a hike for you.
Yeah, but down below Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's down below D.C. It's getting on down there to the Bay, and pretty much is about as far south in Maryland almost as you can go, so on the western shore of the Bay. So
I'm willing to try anything.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a fun time down there. Good people down there. Really treat you good down there. But need more trucks to come out. Yes, we do. Yep, need more trucks, more tractors. Give it time. That was, again, it was a rain date, number one. Instead of being there on a Saturday night, which would have been probably much more people there, et cetera, et cetera. The crowd was decent for a Sunday, I have to say. But usually a rain date can kind of bite you a little bit. It's unfortunate. But
pinch a little bit.
Hot farm-wise, we still got some tractors that are in pieces. So, but anyway, it's time to go pulling with the Miceks. How are you all doing?
We're doing well, doing really well. Got some anxiety here, getting ready to have this process take place. But I reached out to Stan Blaygrave the other day, and he called me back, and I told him, I said, we need to load the tractor in the trailer so you quit worrying about everything and keep going over everything. And man, I hope it's okay. Everything checks good, but anything can go wrong when it goes for its next pass. So hopefully it'll be all right.
Yeah, I would be worried to death putting that much money of my own money on a sea container and watching it go bye-bye while I'm still in the United States and it's headed across the big pond. That would worry me to death.
That part's not so much. I mean, they have an insurance policy on it, and so do we as well. That's all fine. It's really crazy. I have never worked so hard to try to do a good job to get this thing ready to make a pass.
Yeah.
It's not like we're going 2 hours up the road or going to Keystone, something like that. You're over 4,000 miles from home, and if whatever you don't have with you, you don't have.
I'm pretty sure there's some pulling
Yeah.
teams over there that have open arms for you, open, ready to help. So
Yeah.
yeah, they got a good group of pullers over there.
Yeah.
I was
That's what
going
I
to say
hear.
that trying to get ready for a pass of a lifetime is probably, the most
Oh,
nerve-wracking thing around.
I'm sorry. Mike Walker wants a T-shirt. I know what's coming out of this. Okay. I'm sure you. I know you know Mike Walker. You talked to him at Keystone. He's my other video guy that works with me, and
Yep.
phew, boy, he'll say anything to get a T-shirt or a hat.
He's a good man.
Even poking me at the ribs at pools and begging for a hat and a T-shirt.
That's it. See what I mean? I'm just kidding. What's up, Hot Wheels?
I threw him right under the bus.
That's okay. He don't trust me. He'll fight back. He'll get you when you least expect it.
Oh, there you
Lance,
go. You
I'll
already
tell you.
have
I already
one.
got one.
Already. So what got you into this crazy sport?
Oh man, at least I started pulling farm tractors back in I think I was 15 years old. I pulled my dad's 4020 at the local fair, and I realized when I went to that I will never do this again with a stock tractor, because what they allow in the out of the field classes, a stock 4020 does not give you bragging rights at all. And
It's emphasis on the out of, not the field, right?
yeah. Well, I knew something was up when we got to that pull in our 4020. Of course, it's a cab power shift. It's really the worst combination you could ever have. And it weighs 12,000 pounds. And then there's a guy there with a narrow front end 4020 that's pulling in like 7th gear. And I'm like, I don't think this is even close. And there was a 1466 in there. And so I made a pact with myself that day. I will never go back to a tractor pull unless we can pull in road gear with something. And and that's where it all started. We had a 1066 that we built when April and I shortly after we were married. We built a hot farm, that could pull, high third or fourth. And, it was like 500 horsepower. And then, boy, we really felt we were doing something. But then we got kind of burnt out with that just within a couple of years, because all the complaining in the classes, out of the field. Yeah, the rules just varied from place to place so much. One day everybody loves you, and the next pull you go to, everybody hates you. And so I was like, well, we'll solve that problem. So we decided to jump right into an alcohol super. And I don't know that anything has really changed. People love you or hate you. But it's just a much more exhilarating ride. Definitely at this level, there's much more professionalism and things of that nature. And we don't regret it. I'll poke at April every now and then, and I'll say, why don't we go back to the hot farm days? And she's like, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But no, it's just,
And that's how you know you have a good woman.
That's right. But I'm grateful. I mean, I don't care for the time and the effort that it takes to do this. I mean, this will take, as everybody knows, it takes as much as you can throw at it. And then it wants more. But man, it's so worth it. When you work hard and everything comes together, it's a blessing when you're not, no pun intended, but when you're stuffed in the sand pile and everybody's going crazy, it's all worth it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
that was an awesome run.
Yeah, it was quite. I unfortunately wasn't there again. I hope to go back in 26 finally, but it was pretty much an all New York sand pile night there at Keystone I seen. So
So talking about your dad's 4020, you had agriculture in your background, like you grew up on a farm. Is that something that you still do or did?
No dairy farm. Grew up on a dairy farm, and then I couldn't wait to get away from that. I've just always been like mechanically inclined. I worked for a fella just up the road from us that had a repair shop right out of high school, and then I went to a bus garage, and I actually worked at 3 bus garages over my career, and then I figured out that it was time to do my own thing. It just got to the point where a normal job was a waste of 8 hours, and I'm not saying that being cocky or anything like that. It was just a really talents were being wasted. So started my own business at home, and we kind of cater to the light and medium duty diesel pickup world. I don't know about your guys' area, but the dealers around here know nothing. Like, they make us look really awesome.
That's good.
And so at any rate, it's just been a blessing, and that's what's allowed us to do what we're
That's
doing.
cool. That's awesome.
Awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. I see that you have that you actually have your 40/20 when on your first pull on the side of the hood there behind you. Almost. No, just kidding.
They would be comparable. The pedal tractor to a 40/20 would be comparable. But no, it was. I like I said, I'm not. It was all good. It was all really good, and when we started out, and then of course, in regards to the picture on the tractor, that's Eric and Becky Graham's son, Luke. We were going to just put a random picture of a kid on the tractor, just search, kids pedal pulling. And I just didn't want to get a phone call from somebody one day that said, that's my kid on the side of your tractor.
Yeah.
It all worked out really, really well. April, actually, I'll just give you a little story of where this all came from. April did a video, and I think it was a 2013 video, and she used that song from Panic at the Disco, High Hopes. I love the lyrics of the song, and it was really good. And she told me when we were going to build this new tractor in 20, she said, there's only one request that I have. Do not change the name of the tractor. And I was going to
see how well that worked for me.
So I had told her, I was like, all right, no big deal. And time went on, and finally I said, I said, we have to change the name of the tractor. And I said, it's your fault, because you're the one that put this song in the video, our end of season video. And so after, we listened to the song, we watched the video a few times that she had done. It was cool. And I think we had gained ground. We're going to change the name. But then I couldn't come up with an image for the side of the tractor. I'm like, what goes with High Hopes? And I couldn't come up with anything. And I looked at pictures of like the space shuttle taking off, a guy looking up at a mountainside. And it's like, this is all cool stuff, but it's not what I was looking for. And then one night I was sitting in bed, and I had my tablet, and I put in Dreaming Big. And there was a little girl on a rocking horse, and the image behind her was a big racehorse. And I was like, that's it. And April had went to the bathroom. She came back in, and I go, I got it. I know what we're putting on the tractor. And I showed her the picture, and she goes, you're going to put a rocking horse on the side of the tractor? I go, no. I said a pedal tractor, a pedal tractor with this tractor as the image behind it.
Yep.
And then, of course, I'm certainly not leaving this to last because it's unimportant. But the whole point of this is, God gives high hopes.
That's right.
Through the grace of God that we've got to do this. And I share this with a lot of people that come through our shop. It just feels like a dream. I walk into the shop every morning and see this sitting here, and I feel like I'm in a dream. It's just, we are so blessed to be doing this, for sure.
Dreams do come true.
Amen to that.
Awesome.
So now, since you brought that up, I have a question for you. You were at church tonight. Did you short your prayer so you could be here in time?
No, not at all.
Never.
No, not at all. I told everybody we have Bible study tonight. It wasn't a worship night, and I said we're actually reading and studying Romans 4 tonight, and I said we have a podcast that we'd like to attend. So I just kind of, sometimes we might get off in discussion on a tangent sometimes, but no, it was good, and we didn't shorten anything. April was probably driving a little faster than she normally does.
Yeah. Well, that's really cool. Yeah, go ahead.
I was running late to the ball game tonight, so I was driving a little faster, and me and my sister have the Life 360 app. And next thing I know, my phone rings, and it's my 5-year-old niece saying, "Aunt Kendra, why are you driving so fast?"
Wow, you're being monitored all the time.
Like, oh, no.
Yes, we have that too. Trust me, it will get you in trouble.
That's awesome.
I was like, she caught me.
Yep. But no, it was good night. Good night, and an honor to be on with you guys for sure.
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you. It's our honor to have you here. And the big dream is now headed overseas.
Yeah.
How did that come about for you?
I tell you what, I remember talking to Rich Lustig over the years, and I said, how do you get to go to Europe? Because they had been, I believe, in 97 and or 96 and 06, I think is what it was. And he said, well, he goes, you got to be the best of the best. And I'm like, well, I don't ever have to worry about going over there. So, but Rich has said, of course, before he passed away, Rich had always said, he goes, if they ever have like some type, when they used to have the Ahoy poll, and when they were always inviting people, he goes, I believe you would get invited just because of your tractor. It's, a Fendt over there is like a John Deere is here. Mm-hmm. He said, I got to believe you'd get invited, but I just never thought that it would happen now. The way that this all came about was we were at the Western New York Empire State Pullers banquet, and Roy, that is Hans Boxler's hired man, he was telling us all about the trip. And of course, it was just awesome. I love, when somebody's sharing with enthusiasm what goes on over there. And I said, boy, I'll tell you what, if we ever had an opportunity to go there, you would have to go. And I said, man, I wouldn't even have to think about that trip. Well, lo and behold, by the end, it was around Thanksgiving time, the way I understand it, and I think I'm telling you this right. I think the goal was to get a couple of pro stocks over there, maybe like the El Nino tractor, bootlegger. That's, I think, what the original goal was. But that big Simon pull in Farley, Iowa is going on that same week. And obviously we all know that's a big payout and, unheard of purses and things of that nature. So I think, those guys are already pre-committed to do that. And so now Eric, the fellow that puts the pull on or the where it's held, he was kind of trying to find, people to to call. And I think Roy is the one that brought our name up. And sure enough, we found out shortly before Thanksgiving that our name was being thrown around. And I think Roy said that when Eric was asking, well, who can we get to come? He goes, well, I sat with somebody just the other night at a banquet that I'm sure they would love to come. And that's really what started the whole process between Roy and Hans talking to him. Because I think his focus is, and not bragging or anything of that nature, but I think they're looking for really good people to come to this pull. You got to represent the sport of tractor pulling in the country to the very best. And of course, Hans and Roy both, just gave us praise and said, these are top-notch folk. You won't be disappointed. So again, by the grace of God, we're now going overseas, and
that's awesome.
It's going to be awesome for sure.
Yeah, you picked a good one for sure. Yeah. That's great. That's cool. That is a once in a lifetime opportunity.
for sure.
Awesome.
So, at what when does the tractor go on into the shipping container to leave? How long is that yet, or when does that come up?
They said between the 23rd and the 29th of this month. They don't have a date exactly yet. They're waiting to hear when the container will be at the facility there that we got to take it to, but somewhere in that time frame. So within the next couple weeks.
So there's a company or a warehouse or somewhere where they'll load the tractors up.
Yeah, there's actually it's called Oxbow. It's in Byron, New York, and they have a sister company or a matching company in the Netherlands.
Okay.
So they work back and forth shipping stuff all the time. So.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So what all goes into the container with the tractor? You have like all your tow buggy or your tools? Nothing.
The buggy stays here. No reason for that to get carted around. Pretty much all your spare parts. I mean, I would never take the head off of this tractor at an event ever, but I will at this event. So if we have to, so you'll take rods, pistons, sleeves, head gasket, hoses and ends, and just anything and everything that you may need. All your tools, clutch discs, I mean, anything and everything. And I'm hoping and praying that I have to do nothing to it. But if, but again, once we get there, and I understand everybody is willing to help, but a lot of that stuff over there is overhead cam stuff. The chances of them having stuff that I need are pretty slim. So you just really have to be prepared, and it's just eating me up. I called Robbie Crutchfield the other day, and I'm like, I think I should have a spare starter. I've never done anything with a starter on this tractor in 4 or 5 years, whatever it's been now. And it's playing games in me big time. I in my mind, I'm like, I better be prepared for this or whatever. So I'm just trying to take anything and everything that we can. Blade Graves are taking, the Red Horse and then the Dark Horse 2-wheel drive. So they have 2 vehicles leaving from their place and going. Our tractor will go by itself, but when it comes back, Team Lambada's mini rod is coming back for Bowling Green. So there'll be 2 tractors coming back with us, or in our container, I should say. So, but that's what, and I think when you looked at the itinerary or whatever, it's supposed to, I think it's literally out to sea for like 4 weeks, because it gets hauled from Byron, New York to Norfolk, Virginia, and that's where it goes on the boat, is in Virginia, and then I believe it's out to sea for like 4 weeks, and then it'll go from that port to wherever it's going to be held until the pole. So it's not out to sea, but the whole process is like a month and a half for it to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So now do you just strap it down in the sea container as is, like it, is it very much so like loading it up in your hauler, or?
I guess, but I think the tie down points are at the bottom, at the base of the wall. So that's a little different because all my tie downs are directly under the tractor, like under the oil pan. So I went out and bought all these different straps. Like we usually tie it down literally with 2 straps, and the wheels are chalk. We'll tie it down now with 6 straps. We've got wraparound things that go around the front axle and out. So like even if the back tires were to lose air and go soft, the front will still be tied tight, and there'll be separate straps. So just all these things that you don't normally think about, because it's going to be gone for a month and a half. You're not going to see it. So
for that month and a half, you're going to be on your radar checking to see which storms are out in the Atlantic.
Yeah. I was going to say, man, because it's not like couple yard, couple, deep sea fishing times 10. Like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I don't think I would sleep for 4 weeks. Like, like, does it come with a UPS tracking number? Like, can you GPS?
There is a tracking number. I don't know how updated it goes. I have reached out to some places about putting a tracker on it, but I haven't had any luck yet finding one that will work inside a shipping container. So
Well,
I was gonna say, like, does a what are those little Apple things? The
yeah.
yeah,
like, can you put those on the driver's seat so you can see where it's at?
I'll give you a little bit of insight. I worked at the Bay doing a job. I did a remodel. I do construction. I did a remodel of the house, and it took me a year. And I would watch all these ships, car haulers, and all kinds of crazy stuff going up in the Bay. And there's apps out there. It's called Marine Tracker. So if you know what the name of the ship is, you can actually follow the ship's progress. It'll give you the speed. Everything is all on an app called Marine Tracker. And so it's very easy to follow ships,
Nice.
big commercial ships.
I'm on it.
So you'll be able to follow the progress and know exactly what's going on, where the ship is at, and where it's heading to.
Hopefully, it won't run into any bridges.
Yeah.
Exactly. Going out of Norfolk, you should be okay.
I know. I think if I remember talking to Hans, and he said that he got on. I don't know if they were on YouTube or something one night, and they were watching these cargo container ships and stuff falling off into the ocean. He's like, I hope that our
I was going to bring that up, but I didn't want to.
yeah, a lower deck or something. 'Cause I don't want it. And when they got to the pull, the tractor, they were actually there before the container got there. They were actually there to watch the container come in to the pull, and they were a little nervous there. And I guess Roy said that the guy there at the pull said, "You Americans worry too much."
Yeah. Well,
like, no, I just have bad luck. Like, my luck, a whole sea or a whole container of like dishwashers or something would come rolling in.
Yeah.
Like, oh, we transposed two numbers. My bad.
Well, it's something that you put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into building this tractor and stuff, but it's only a material thing.
That's right.
So if something does happen, it definitely wouldn't, hopefully not a loss of life. But
No.
the good thing is as secure and as easy as it is to ship stuff all over the world, I'd say that your chances are 100% of reaching your destination. My next question was, do you have a whole crew of people that are going to be going over there with you? You have a lot of friends that are signing up to go over and do this, or?
No, not at all. Not at all. Boxlers, they're going back over a few of them. There's going to be 10 of us, 9 of us now. 10 of us going together. So that was a little unique. It was, I'm trying to think here how this went down. I know Roy and his wife and Hans is going, and there's Adam Drought and who?
Claire.
Claire Linky.
Yep. And then there's us, and then so this was unique. Kevin and Kelly Windsor are going with us.
Oh, really?
Oh, whatever.
Oh, wonderful.
Awesome.
So I'll tell you how this happened. So April jumped the gun.
I didn't jump the gun. I was excited.
She jumped the gun. Totally. He put up, got some exciting news coming. Hopefully coming. So anyway, I was talking to Kevin one day, and he goes, "Hey, I got a question for you." I said, "What's that?" He goes, "What'd your wife mean by that on Facebook?" And I said, "Well, between you, me, and the wall," I said, I think we're being considered to pull at Matos." And he goes, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." I said, "It's just small talk." I said, I don't know if it's going to happen yet." And Kevin had made the comment to me. He goes, "Well, don't forget us little folk." When obviously, Kevin is way bigger than I would ever be in tractor pulling. I'm like, okay, little folk, whatever. So, of course, the day after Christmas came, and that's when we got the official invite. And I told April, I said, I'm gonna invite Kevin and Kelly, and see what they say. And sure enough, I called Kevin and I said, "It's official. We got invited." I said, "Would you guys be willing to go with us?" And he said, I go, I don't need an answer right now. He goes, well, I'm going to have to present this to my wife and see what she says. And the way I understand it, that when why do you keep grabbing me?
You keep moving.
I have to move.
Shaking.
I'm
Yeah.
Let the man
Got
alone.
the
Let him
wiggles.
move.
oh, I'm sorry.
Just don't smack her in the face if it's a big deal.
You guys probably gathered that I can't sit still at Keystone there when I got done. At any rate, he told me that he goes, I'll tell Kelly and see. And when he told her, I think she was like, what? What? Why? Why us? Why? Why not?
That sounds like Kelly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of awesome. He said that they had been setting some money aside for their 25th wedding anniversary, and he goes, I think that's going to pay for this trip. But no,
There you go.
they're very excited, and I'm very glad for them to go with us. And we only get to see them at Keystone, and I said, are you, I hope that you're cool with this. And he goes, I don't care where we're at with planting or on the farm. He goes, when that day comes, we are going.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you're going to have a good team member if he's with you. That's for sure.
yeah, for sure. Kevin has a very. I realized this year. It's the first time I've ever had somebody down on the line with me like at Keystone, and he has a level of humor, but he also gives you kind of a peace when he's there with you and keeps everything calm and cool. He wasn't helping me though at Keystone when Foresters ran, and we were all wondering, is that the mark to beat? Are we even going to be able to get within reaching distance of him? And he had said, well, if David is running right, he goes, he should be stuffed in the pile. And sure enough, David's in the pile. And then when I saw Henry do the same thing, Kevin comes over to me and, he puts his hand up on the side vent of the hood and he goes, you're going to have to sink it about to here to make finals. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. So it was pretty cool. And then when it all landed like that, Kevin found out an hour after that I didn't beat David. He still, got me by a couple of inches or whatever. Yep. And he goes, I thought you won. And I go, no, we didn't win. He goes, you mean you did all this and you didn't win? I said, if I would have let off and I was 3 feet, or if I was 4 or 5 feet away from the sand pile and missed finals by a couple of feet, I said I wouldn't hear the end of it. Now I'm hearing the end of it that I didn't. He goes, no, I'm not complaining. He goes,
I think it was all in how you hit the sand pile. Like I think, David went straight in, but I think like Henry kind of went up the sand pile. And I think you did as well. Yeah. But it's crazy how that sand pile works at Keystone. Like you're like, no, they went farther. No, well, they went to the right, they went to the left. Like it's just.
Well, you had a reason for not.
That works.
We had a reason for not breaking it on the sand pile anyway.
Yeah. No, it was. When I was telling myself the whole time, I won't do this. I won't do this. I'm not going to do this. And I don't want to do any damage to the machine and all that. And then, I think I told you, Dwayne, when we were talking, when the nose came up, I couldn't see where I was going. I was like, I guess I just go until it won't go no more. And when it went up onto the piles and lifted back wheels off the ground and spun out, I was like, that's as far as it'll go.
Yeah, but I tell you what, the crowd loved it. That was probably like the biggest. Yeah, that was probably the biggest ovation out of that crowd the whole evening.
Yeah,
like I don't think anybody was as excited as the crowd.
Yeah, no, it was. I don't regret. When we pulled it out and saw the tie rod busted and all the metal under the front all smashed up, I was like, I was a little discouraged, but. To be 100% honest, when we got home and unloaded it here in the garage, I was like, I will so do that again in 1 second.
Yeah. I was going to say it's all worth it.
Oh, yeah.
So what you need to do is take that. How was that?
I said, that's what hanging around Henry and David does to you.
Makes you a little bit crazy.
Trust me, I understand. Been there.
So what you need to do is you need to take that video footage of you planting it in the sand pile and take it along to Europe so they have something to put on their massive Jumbotron.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I'm sure they have all their stuff.
Yeah, it'll be fine. I just my prayer is that the thing will just make good passes over there. Even for Keystone, we turned this thing down. Honestly, it only made like 105 pounds of boost, and I'm not going crazy with it. When we go over there, I want it to make just good, solid, respectable runs, and be in competition. I don't want it. These are just exhibition runs over there. That's it. I don't want to say it means nothing. It means everything, but I don't want to tear it up in the first night at all.
Right.
If you're doing an exhibition run, there's no mark that you need to beat. So you just want to make a nice long pass, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, for sure. So no, it'll be good. I'm beating myself up with making sure that you. When I talked with Stan Blagrave the other day, he goes, "Our tractor has never made 3 consecutive passes." So he goes, we don't want to tear ours up either. And I said the second night there at Keystone, I was telling Stan that I said I touched 7,200 RPMs like 2 to 3 times, and that's not really good for the motor. But it seemed to have taken it. There was no metal in the filter. Valve train stayed put. So we're just going to exercise our prayer life very heavily when it goes over there.
Yeah. I was going to say 7,200 RPMs. That was at Keystone 3 times on that run.
Yeah.
Wow.
The last run is it never hooked up. I tried to limp out of the hole, and I should have just turned and burned it out of the hole. And I didn't, and then it just overpowered, never hooked up. And then I was on a brake hard, and it was just screaming.
Yeah,
it wasn't good. You
wouldn't when you're in there, when those tractors go, there's so much noise and air and the sound. It's kind of hard to tell RPMs with the super stocks.
Yep.
Yeah,
we were stress testing the crankshaft for sure.
Stress testing the crankshaft with it turned down.
Yeah. I should have done things. I could have, after actually the first night, I could have easily shifted up a gear and it would have took it. The first night it was not struggling. It could have had 500 RPM knocked out of it by moving up a gear, and it would have been its friend. It just would have went faster down the track.
Yep.
Faster, baby, faster.
It's not a race.
So
sure.
Unique here in the United States is that Fendt sheet metal. So
yeah,
what kind of feedback have you had since you put the sheet metal and went with that sheet metal with the pulling bands and promoters, etc.?
A lot. The night that we unveiled the thing, when we went to Alexander Fire Department as a 2-day event, that is the very first place. We did a very good job keeping this thing quiet when it was being built, meaning if customers would come through the shop, they're welcome to look at what we're doing. But absolutely, we had to hang a big sign on it that said no photos, because people come in, grab their phone, snap pictures, and before you know it, it's out on social media. And I just told people, it's like we just want to unveil it, all done at once, and then we don't care about pictures. That night it ran terrible. I didn't set my wastegate correctly. It's my first time with like a Terry Blackburn wastegate, so I didn't know. I didn't know exactly. I used a leak down tester to set it, and so the tractor was only making 50 pounds of boost, so it didn't run very good there at all. But when we left there, April's phone was literally like ding, 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 like that. And he said these are all like friend requests from Germany, the Netherlands, and it was coming like crazy because Adam had posted some pictures. And it was crazy. So we gained quite a friendship overseas when this thing came out, for sure. Got a lot of hype, for sure.
That's awesome. Well,
tell us a little bit about the tractor, whatever information you don't mind putting out there.
There's nothing there a surprise or anything special, that's for sure. But just I've had a relationship with Rich and Jordan Lustig from day one, which would have been in 2005. And just we've always wanted to graduate up to something that would make some power. Just, we had to wait for that time, financially and I guess with experience as well. And we decided at the end of 2019 that this is the route we wanted to go. And I told my exact words to Rich Lustig was, I want to be able to run with David and Henry. And had numerous people come to me and it's like, oh, if you want him in, you know, I got a connection with Terry Blackburn. I'm sure he will help you. Well, I didn't want to do that because Henry and David have Terry's stuff. And now it's going to come down to money and relationship, which I have neither of when it comes to dealing with Blackburn. So, I just, Rich told me, he goes, I will do everything in my power to help you, you know, to be competitive with those guys and to run with them. And they farmed out, if you will, to Robbie Crutchfield. You know, and I had concerns about things as well, but they said, you know, I believe that there's some good stuff there. It's a Hemi style head on this and things of that nature. And Rich told me, he goes, you know I told you we'll do 3 turbos. He goes, I really think you need 4 if we really want this thing to run. So I just followed their guidance and you know, I don't feel misled in any way, shape, or form. They have went out of their way to make this thing run flawless. And it has. The only time it is a failure is when I get my fingers in there and start messing around. And, you know, I have a very good understanding of what, you know, but like Sealingsgrove, absolute 100% Lance's fault when it burned a piston, blew the oil pan apart. I leaned out a cylinder at a couple of events before that, and this process had happened 2 or 3 times over summer, and Rich kept questioning everything that I did. He said, what? He goes, I cannot believe that burned a piston. I said, man, it was cold. It was like 49 degrees. He goes, it didn't burn the other 5 pistons. Why did it burn cylinder 2? And I go, I don't know. It was cold. And he just kept going back. He goes, this can't be. And so sure enough, he started really questioning me. And sure enough, when I went over and put my eyes on the nozzles that I had changed, it should have been a 62 in there, and I had a 52 in. So it was 10 thousandths too lean, added with the 49 degrees, and that's why it did what it did. And he goes, well, at least we don't have to guess where this came from. This was self-inflicted pain. So they've never misled me in anything. I mean, these guys have been just so good in between, you know, Rich and Jordan, and then, you know, Robbie Crutchfield. There's a lot of experience there and a lot of understanding. And if you just listen and follow what they say, you know, it's, you know, and we all know what it takes to make more power, turn boost up, advanced timing. You get to choose how far you want to push before you start getting
Yeah, right, sure.
Yeah.
So you,
good.
and essentially you're saying you drive a ticking time bomb.
Yeah. That's how far to the edge do you get, you know, before you cross it? And so, you know, and that's the other thing. I want the thing to live. You know, I'm finding out as I get a little bit older, the thing I value the most is time, and we have less and less of it. It's not even really a money thing, and I'm not saying that like we have a bunch of money, but the time that it takes to fix these machines and just to maintain them alone is crazy. And then to go out and God bless the people that are making gobs and gobs of power and can destroy stuff every night. I mean, it's awesome. But I'm not that guy. I don't have enough hours to be working on this thing every night. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's fun to go out and do a couple of pulls and not have to do too much work on it.
Yes, sir.
Well, you're one of the first guys that ever took the time to spend about 15 or 20 minutes explaining the ins and outs of an alcohol super stock to me. So kudos to you for that. I expanded my knowledge a little bit a couple years ago when we went over that engine, and it's quite the contraption, that's for sure. Definitely.
Actually, it's I've just had good teachers. I was always so grateful for Rich and Jordan. They could explain like a fuel system, and just it's really a very simple setup. I mean, obviously, it's a real balancing act making these machines come on and run, but we've just had really good teachers, and it's not rocket science what we're doing. And I said that one time. I am a diesel guy through and through. Nothing makes me happier than seeing plumes of smoke, and I love it. And I remember the day that I sat in their office down there at Bullet Motorsports, and I said, should we do a diesel or an alcohol? And Rich asked me, he goes, do you have a lot of money? And I said, I don't. He said, build an alcohol. And I said, well, if this is the way to go, why doesn't everybody do it? And he said, I will explain that to you when we cross that bridge. The day that we were there to test the tractor, we had 18 attempts and it wouldn't spin a tire. And I remember I was very frustrated. I remember he said, well, let's go to lunch. The tractor was still setting out on their track hooked to their sled. And I was walking away and I said, maybe we'll get lucky and somebody will take it while we're gone and we're at lunch. and Rich, I remember him walking in front of me and he said, remember when you said, why doesn't everybody build an alcohol tractor? And I said, yes. He goes, this is why. So, but
they're extremely temperamental.
Yeah, but once it's figured out, and like I said, they give me a really good baseline to work with. I would always give them all the praise, and then Rich always would say to me, yeah, but he goes, you're the one applying the knowledge that we're giving you, and that's important. So they've just been very good at teaching, and yeah, I might be the one applying it, but they've just been very good helping us. So that means a lot.
It's good. Our friends in polling is what keeps us all going.
Yes, sir.
It's quite an awesome community, that's for sure.
Yeah.
April, what do you think of all this craziness?
What's that?
I said, what do you think of all this craziness?
I love it.
Oh, you love it. Awesome. There you go.
I love it.
Okay.
It's the best. I wouldn't trade it for nothing. I love it.
You want to know how crazy she is? I'll tell you how crazy she
Easy.
is. We went from doing this plan of engine. We were going to modify our old engine, and we had put a price together to modify our old engine. I think the price was around $75,000, and we were selling things, moving money around, and even borrowing some money to make all this plan come together. And Rich called me, and it's like go time to make this process happen. And Rich calls me, and he goes, I think we got to change of plans here. And I'm like, oh boy. I said, what's the change of plans? Now, our office here in the shop is like a little section by itself, and then there's a picnic table out here in the big part of the shop. And I was sitting at the picnic table talking to Rich on speakerphone. And he said, I'd like to can your whole engine completely, and we just want to start fresh. I'm like, well, that's fine, but I'm sure that fresh costs more money. He goes, it does, but always remember, you have an entire engine complete to sell. I go, somebody has to buy that engine, though. And so he told me, he said, well, Lance, he goes, it does affect the price, and it was over $100,000 to do this process, well over. And so I said, oh, I'm going to have to talk to April about this. This is quite a change in the plan, and this is how crazy my wife is about pulling. I hung up the phone with Rich, and I was preparing in my mind how I was going to sell all this to her. And I'm sitting at the picnic table, and I said, honey, and she goes, I don't know what there is to discuss about this. Are we doing it or not? So that was our discussion. I dialed Rich back up and I said, we're doing it. How we're going to pay for it, I'm not really sure about that. But yes, let's do it. So what do you need from me? And that's really how it went down. And we just made a commitment that we're going to, send these guys X amount of dollars. We can't rely on the other motor to sell because we don't know if somebody's going to jump in and buy it. That motor literally sat here for 3 years on the floor before just one day a guy building a new light super in Missouri called and said, I'm going from a diesel to an alcohol, and if you still have it, I'd like to buy it. So it sat here for 3 years, but glory to God, we were able to pay for this. We didn't owe 1 penny on any of this stuff when the season started.
Nice.
I'm not going to lie, it was painful going through it.
That thing was literally a paperweight in your shop for 3 years, and all of a sudden it was worth something.
I thought it was a scam. I literally thought it was a scam, and because just out of the blue, this guy sent a message, "Do you still have this motor?" And I'm like, "Oh boy!"
Oh, wow.
They said, "This is crazy," but he ended up coming through and bought it, and of course that helped us out tremendously. Put some money back into savings and things of that nature. But no, it was a huge commitment. But man, I am so grateful we got through it and where we're at today.
Now everything's uphill from there.
Yeah, literally pulling hard too. But no, it's been really good. We're just trying to do our best to protect the thing, make wise decisions. I'm certainly make mistakes for sure, but I try to make everything be as professional as I can and make it, represent.
Yeah,
Well, it's coming full circle.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're going over the big pond now. So
Yeah.
So what is your event like over there? Is it a couple of day event, or is it are you pulling once a day for 3 days, or?
Yes. Yeah, exactly that. It's three-day event. We pull the 13th, 14th, and 15th. I would say that this is equivalent to our Bowling Green. The way Adam explained it to me is that it's much more showy than what we have here in the States. He goes, they just present the sport of pulling a whole lot different than we do. And of course, when you watch their video, their promotional video thing from last year, I can't wait to see, not that I'm a partier or anything like that, but I can't wait to see their pulling party at night.
yeah,
Just the whole experience, Hans said, he goes, when you make your pass down the track, you can hear the roar of the crowd over your machine running. And he said, it'll just blow your mind. And he said, they're just so excited, to see you. And that's actually why Hans is going back. He said, I didn't get to watch anything. He goes, at any given time in the tent there, he said, there's like 200 to 300 people there the whole time. So you never get to watch the pulling. The only time you get to watch what's going down the track is when you're being towed to the track and towed back. The rest of the time, man, it's all PR work. So
do you have your dog sitter lined up?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's going to be hard.
Yeah.
yeah.
That's going to be extremely hard. But yeah, actually, my parents are coming from Louisiana to
cool.
babysit.
So it's going to be quite the shuffle there. You got your dog sitter the whole way in Louisiana, and you won't even be there to hang out with them.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. The three of us have never been apart, so it's going to be really tough on all of us.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure it'll come out in the end.
Yeah.
How long will you all be? I'm sorry, Dwayne. How long will you all be over there?
7 days.
Okay.
7 days. I think we fly out the 10th, and then we leave on the 17th. Two things. The dog has to be chipped, and we could probably take him on the plane, but he's never flown before, and a 7 or 8 hour flight is not probably the first flight to try him out on.
Yeah.
So that's why I just think it's better, because I think he would get along fine with it, but it's probably the best thing. And plus, he'll be exhausted. Just coming to Keystone, he is so on fire and excited the first 2 days. by the third day, he's like winding down. By the fourth day, he is like shot and just, I mean, you can't get him out of bed. He doesn't want to go to the bathroom. And you try to, we're going to be going home soon. And he just wears them out. So I think it'll be best that he just stays on the home turf.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. I was gonna say you have to be one of those celebrities like is it Mark Smith or Matt Smith that brings his dog out in the track at Keystone with him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Follows him out on the track.
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. It's probably better for the dog too to not have to go through the stress of that long flight and everything.
Yeah.
Because they probably have to be in a carrier in the hold or somewhere wherever they keep.
Well, even if you were to have him out, I just know the way he operates. If you put him down on the floor, he'd be peeing and pooping on the planes.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's probably just the best deal. I think it would be want to try a shorter flight if we were going to do that, with him on a plane.
So anyway, you just left the cat out of the bag. You got a Cajun wife.
No, actually, they're not. No, they're from here and they moved down there. So
Yeah.
no, unfortunately, I'm a New York girl through and through.
I had to say that.
Did you get any snow here?
Yeah,
Yeah.
today.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, we got another 4 inches last night into today. This is just terrible. Absolutely terrible. It can stop anytime.
Keep that up there.
Well, we would really like you guys to have some.
Good.
You like to share your blessings.
I used to love snow. The older I get tired of moving, and I can't even imagine moving the stuff you got to move up there. So.
It's kidding.
But we get a nor'easter down here. It's bad.
Yeah. We've had blistering snowstorms this year. We, started out with like 4 or 5 foot at a rip, and then we got an inch of, it was warmed up like 45 degrees and an inch of rain, and it was just slop. And then it swung right around the next day and got another 3 feet.
Wow.
It's been a hard winter of just trying to keep up, and a lot of barns collapsed up here this year. It's been hard. So
I remember years ago, my father, I don't know why, but he got hooked on a place up in Ogdensburg, New York. Okay, and if you know where Ogdensburg is, you're going to get a lot of snow.
Yep.
Period. And thankfully, that fell through years ago. He never moved up there. Oh my Lord! It was a really good buy. I guess it was a lot of land, but I'm thinking there's obviously nothing much to do up there. So. Move snow. That's about it, really. But it was a pretty nice farm, I guess.
4 inches for you guys is a walk in the park. That's you don't even have to get a shovel out for 4 inches.
If we get, and I'm not being sarcastic at all at this, if we get like 8 to 10 inches of snow overnight, hard pressed to see a 2-hour delay at school. Hard pressed.
And that's they're shutting stuff down here. It's crazy. It never used to be that way, but
yeah. Well, that's the difference between people that actually get snow and people that don't. I guess, yeah. For us, sometimes it's like, why are they having a delay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember going to school in a school bus with chains on the school bus.
Yep.
And I won't say a foot of snow, but it was probably approaching that.
Sure.
But
sure.
Not today.
Yeah, if we only get like if they she says, oh, we're gonna get there's a snow a warning, how much we're supposed to get like 12 to 16 inches. You're like, oh, that's not that bad.
Mm-hmm.
Only have to clean the driveway once or twice and that's it. But when it's 40 and 50 mile an hour winds with 5 feet of snow, that's a problem.
Yeah, big time.
A lot of work.
Well, people that get lake effect snow have a different mentality than the rest of the United States. It's I have a brother and his family and my sister. They live in middle of the Finger Lakes, and sometimes they get lake effect snow, but they're far enough out that they don't get a whole lot.
Yep. No, it can go. I'm excited when snow comes. I like the change of seasons here. I really do. But pretty much, the snow can come and within a month you've had enough. And then this point of the season, it's like, come on. And man, we were just so grateful. Like when we came to Keystone, it was beautiful. It was just so beautiful. The tractor trailer didn't get dirty. Everything was perfect. And then, we get home and like the following weekend, I think we got hammered with snow. And it's like, I am so grateful we weren't traveling in this mess.
Yeah.
Well, you were able to pull it in the shop and have it under roof, and then you didn't have to worry about cleaning it.
Yes, it was perfect. So no, it was that was a blessing that all worked out like that. But no, it's just hanging on, and I'm hoping that we're supposed to be in the 60s after this weekend. I think it is. We're supposed to be kind of hovering up towards 60 for the next 7 to 10 days. So I think we're swinging the other way now.
So that means when the snow goes away, welcome to the mud bowl.
Yeah. Yeah. It's we were just talking about that tonight on the way to church. We haven't got crazy amounts of rain. It's not like a major flip of the switch and go right from snow to flooding or anything like that. So it's really been really low key, and I'm very, very grateful for that because we had banks pushed up there. We use our big bulldozer to push snow back. We got a D8H Caterpillar, and I had banks pushed up that were probably 25 and 30 feet high. And it's like, boy, if we get a big thaw really fast, we are going to be in so much trouble. But yep. It was just nice warm up and just a tone down of the snow.
So that's the difference in mentality. What you just mentioned there, Lance, is a different mentality in a lake effect snow person versus the rest of us. We talk about snow blowers and snow shovels and snow plow in your truck, and up there you guys talk about D8s like at a whole other level.
Wow. Well, trust me, that machine is overkill by far, but it does make it just a lot better at the end of the day. Like when you've got hammered with snow for like the one storm we got 3.5 or 4 feet in 16 hours. And you just kind of smile at that. It's like, that's awesome. We're gonna have some snow to push.
Yeah.
Wow.
So,
Meanwhile, I dread 3.5 to 4 inches.
Yeah.
I do too, but I can't do anything about it.
Yeah.
So it's
well, good. Summer's a coming and pulling season's just around the corner. Actually, it's kind of started.
Yeah.
So besides obviously going overseas, are you planning on just running with Western New York when you get back, or haven't really thought beyond the Super Bowl over there?
Well, last year we actually did a fair amount of traveling for us. We just did the Western New York thing for the most part. We did Dover, Ohio, Canfield, Ohio, the Buck, Selinsgrove, Bloomsburg. Bloomsburg got rained out. But we did some traveling, and just where people had reached out, hey, would you come to our pull? We just started doing that. And to be honest with you, we had a lot of fun. And it's wonderful to go places where people want you there. So I told April I had no intentions of the Netherlands this year, but I said I'd like to do Bowling Green, Ohio, and do maybe a couple of big pulls. So that'll be very unique to hit probably the largest pull in Europe and then the largest pull in the US.
Yeah.
That would be really cool. So yes, Western New York, and we're still planning. We had a great time at the Buck. We're going back there for sure. We can't compete with those pro stocks, but so what? Canfield, Dover, Ohio, just, it's just a good time. It's good people. And so we're going to do that stuff. And we got to try to get to North Carolina again. That was my fault that we didn't get to go to that this year, but we want to get down there. I know Robbie would love to have us down there to pull with that group as well. So we're going to shoot for that. Next year, if we can get through this year with those plans, that'll be awesome. next year I'd like to go. I think it's called Centerville, New Brunswick,
Yep.
up there in Kevin Taylor's neck of the woods.
Yep.
That new multiplex or whatever that they have up there looks really awesome.
I went there and definitely recommend.
Okay.
I've been there before. That is a good time up there.
I would.
That video that went around viral, the guy that drove that white,
Yeah.
who was like, I put her in the registration. That is every single person up there. They are all that crazy. Like cool. I saw that video, I was like, he's a calm one. Like,
yeah,
they're nuts.
I don't even know if there's a class for us, but I want to go to that poll just because.
Oh, they don't care. They'll run you.
I want to go. I want to go to that for sure. And I know that'll be a big trip for us because I think that's all the way up to the top of Maine, and you cross the border up there
straight through Maine.
Yeah, I gotta believe that would be like us going to the Pullers Championship or to Louisville, Kentucky.
Like 12 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be a hike for us. But next year that'll probably be like the big check mark. I'd like to go up there and just do some different things. We're just, we're trying to make instead of just running to a pull and making a pass and everything is exhausting and run. When we go to Ohio and it's 10 hours away. We leave 5 o'clock at night, drive 5 hours, stop at a truck stop, get the cooker out, cook dinner, relax, and then finish it up the next day. Just break it up, and it's not just the pull; it's the journey. So
right, exactly.
That's what we're trying to do, and we're finding a lot of peace and joy in doing that.
Slow down and enjoy life a little bit. I agree.
It's a pulling vacation.
Yeah. When you do the points thing, and I don't begrudge anybody, we've done the points thing. It almost becomes a job, and it doesn't take long for the fun to get sucked out of that real quick. And it was cool when we went to Ohio, Dover, Ohio. When we went there was like some guard up, coming across the scales. Find out what's in that thing for a motor. Make sure you know what's in there for a motor because obviously of weight and drawbar height.
Yep.
At the end of the night, it was great. Jeff Hodem won the pull. David was second. I was third, and Henry was fourth. And and it was cool. Like Keeners came over to us, Bill Keener, and they come over and talked with us with the Bambi tractor. Anytime you want to pull with Ohio State, man, come and we love to have you. You guys are good people and good equipment. And so it's a lot of fun and just making friends, expanding that pulling family. It's cool.
That's what it's about.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Pulling family is a big deal.
Yeah. I'd love to come and do some stuff with, like I was telling Kevin Windsor, because it was questionable about with us having 4 turbos and pulling with them. And I said, if we wanted to come, and he said that he had, asked some higher up or maybe other people in the class, and they're like, no, if he wants to come, tell him to come along. There'll be a place to pull, So I would like to do some of that stuff as well, because we've never got down into that neck of the woods at all.
Love to have you, man. Come on down. Absolutely.
Love to do it for sure.
Yep. That'd be awesome. Right, Kendra?
Well, I was just getting ready to say, I was thinking Center Hall. If they like
that's a
destination
nice 2-day
polls, last Friday and Saturday of August, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's August.
So.
It's the Grange Fair. Grange Fair in Center County, Pennsylvania.
August 22nd, August 23rd.
It would be a little bit west of Sealands Grove or Snyder County.
Okay.
It's
not far from Snyder County.
Huge fair.
Yeah,
like
big.
It's got to be the biggest fair in the state of Pennsylvania.
Yep.
And people camp there. They literally, in their will, pass down their campsite to their children. So there's people who have campsites 7 generations deep.
Not to mention the waiting list of people that want to get into that encampment.
Yeah. So it's a fair where literally everybody shows up and stays there for the entire week. There are more food options than you can think of. It
And
would
if
be
you
the
s-
week after Bowling Green.
Okay.
And if you spent the week there, they pull every night pretty much. Different
Yeah,
stuff.
there's
different
some
stuff.
sort of tractor pulling happening every week. Interstate is there on Monday. Snyder County is there a couple nights. They have antique pulls, lawnmower pulls, and then East Coast is there Friday and Saturday. And the crowd's into it. Like it's a cool pool to go to. So
Yeah.
definitely
Well,
think about going there.
yeah, definitely keep us in mind and remind us through social media or something like that.
Yeah, definitely.
It's funny because like people will send her messages of, hey, would you guys be willing to come here? And it took us a while to step outside of the New York boundary, and and I always, I absolutely hate driving, but if it's broke up and it's done correctly, you're not just killing yourself going, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
And we just have to plan accordingly. And with stuff at church, with preaching and things of that nature, we don't want to be gone every Sunday as well, but we just try to be prepared and do it correctly. And we're having a lot of fun moving around for sure.
Well, I'm pretty excited about you going to Bowling Green, Ohio. I'm gonna check that off my bucket list this year. I've never been at Bowling Green, and I'm planning on heading out there if everything works out. So maybe we'll find you there.
Yeah, we're hoping.
That's who we need to tell. Tara,
Yes,
remind the
Tara.
Miceks of Bowling Green
Yes.
closer, or of Center Hall closer to time.
Yep.
No,
She's pretty much up front running where Atlantic are pulling now
Pro
instead of
pulling,
East
yeah.
Coast. But
Yeah.
they may come to Center Hall, Tara. Wouldn't that be cool?
That'd be sweet. we'll all meet there.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and that crowd would love you guys. Like I said, they're very into it there.
Yeah.
That's not as big of a crowd as like a Bowling Green or anything, but
Sure.
they're loud and proud there. So
That's a great weekend. It really is.
There's a couple of pulls in New York, like when we go to Chatham Fair. That place is crazy as well. The crowd really gets into it, and like this place that when you pull, they actually tow you back down in front of the crowd, and as you're being towed down in front of the crowd, it's like this wave of clapping and the people just really appreciate your efforts, and that makes it all worth it.
There's a boss lady giving you an invite right there. So I don't know if you can read your screen or whatever.
Yep. No, we'll have to.
There you go.
We'll have to plan it. It'll be good. Winters are long, so the pulling season we got to make use of it.
I was going to say. So, how many times have you done your sermon through Zoom meeting or something?
we usually have somebody to cover for us. We try to put our schedule out there and have people cover for me. So it's not not too bad. I've had pullers say, "Geez, it's a bummer that you're here at the pull. I can't watch you on Facebook Live." So,
yeah.
The trailer while I'm doing my reading.
Here's the real seller. This will sell you. You got to come for this. Because that homemade ice cream is it is really good.
Yeah, it is. We were
they make it up the holler.
We were at Pike last year. First time I've ever been at a pull, and one of the one of the pro field guys, they show up there and they got a soft ice cream machine on the back of their pickup. Help yourself. Just come over. There's cones there. And just help yourself. Well, of course, I don't know these guys at all, to speak of these guys personally. And then finally, at the end of the night, I was like, I got to go over there and see. So I went over there and I asked the fella, I was like, what do I got to do to get ice cream out of this machine? And he shows me. I said, how long? And it was great. I said, how long are you going to have this going? I mean, it's been up there all day going. He goes, I just put the last of the gas in the generator. So he said, when the generator dies, that'll be the end of the soft ice cream. And I was like, I've got another 5 gallons in my trailer. So I actually was double fisting ice cream cones there for a little bit. That was amazing. So I can be persuaded with ice cream.
Well, it's good that it's not around any of the pools I go to if my kids are along, or they wouldn't leave the ice cream machine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's good. So
Cool. All right. Well, we won't tie you up any longer.
no, you're fine. You're fine.
Right.
This is awesome, and it's an honor to be on with you guys.
Yeah, I really
we
appreciate you
appreciate
coming
it.
on, and wish you all the luck overseas and have a good time. That's the important
Did you
thing.
Did you see Tara's latest comment that they don't usually have codes, but she will personally buy them if
Wow.
you come?
Man, you guys really right. Look at that.
Telling you.
I could eat out of a cup or a bowl. I'm not that fussy. Really.
It's good. They have what, vanilla and chocolate, peanut butter.
Wow.
That's the good stuff. That's my
I have to pass
Peanut
forward.
butter. I'll be there.
man. Then we can get Dwayne to do a shrimp boil. We'll just get him to come over and do a
There you
shrimp
go.
boil
We'll
for
do a
us.
big seafood boil, and we'll do the whole
Yeah.
9 yards. You know, my problem is that same weekend on the Saturday pull, I think, is our Keystone Truck Show.
Okay.
So I could only be there for Friday evening.
You come over long enough, steam it, and go back home.
Yeah, there you go.
No, I would definitely consider going to that. That sounds. Henry is always trying to peel me off and get me to go to different places, and then, you know, it's so funny. I told him we had such a good time in was it Canfield?
Yep.
Canfield, Ohio, and I said, man, it was a good time, and I said we're gonna go to Dover. Henry's like, I'm not going to Dover, and then I said, well, we've never been, so we're going to go. And then he calls me the day before Dover. Yeah, we're loading the tractors up. I guess we'll go to Dover.
That sounds like Uncle Henry. Yeah.
So it's so funny because we'll talk, and where the other one's going, the other one will usually try to follow. And
Yeah.
what's the poll? I can't remember. Oh my goodness. It was toward the tail end of the season. Was it in Maryland?
Frederick.
Frederick. Yep.
The Monday after the Buck.
Yeah, that's what it
Yeah.
was. He goes, "Are you going?" And I'm like, "I really got to go home and work, Henry. I really should work, but I would like to make a point to go to that poll sometime as well." And he goes, "Oh, your alcohol tracker will love that. You know, it's a stone dusty track." And he goes, "You got to go." And I'm like, I will. Just can't go right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I would like to. There's a bunch that he goes to that I'd like to go to. Just, you know, they sound like a good time for sure.
Doing a couple a year will get you there. Can't do them all in 1 year, but a couple a year will.
Yeah,
Always, yeah.
yeah. I want to. I want to definitely get out onto the East Coast here and hit some. I would like to go to some, you know, with Kevin and you know, it's a bummer because we don't see the East Coast group, and you know, only at Keystone. So it's a bummer, and you know, you can only cram so much
Yeah.
in summer, but you know, we're trying. So, but that's the.
I used to be able to get up to New York. I used to go to Strawberry Fields, Dansville,
Yep.
and stuff, but it's just tough to get away now.
Yeah.
It's about 6 hours, I guess. About a 6 hour drive to go up there.
Yep.
The Dansville it is, yeah.
Yep.
not
Yep.
too
We'll miss obviously Dansville, and then there's a few.
Dansville and
Alexander Steen. Yeah, because I think Boxler said that their tractor took right around a month to get back, and I think it was back like the week before our hometown pull in Lowville. And you know, all subject to change. It just depends how long the machine gets tied up at customs. And but I had said to April, I was like, this year I don't want to run points anywhere. You know, we had never run Western New York points, and we did that last year. And that stinker David, he keeps he ended my plan of trying to get first in points there. But very grateful for the competition for sure. But I told her, I said, I don't want to do any points running this year. I just want to travel a little bit. And this was nowhere near on the radar to go to the Netherlands, but yeah, I'll take that. That's cool.
So you got to deal with all the stress of going to Netherlands and making sure you have all your stuff together. But at the same time, you'll have a little bit more time off
Yes.
because the tractor is going to be en route or on the way there and on the way back. So either
Man,
way,
that's
I
going to
think
make traveling the rest of the summer a breeze. You're going to be like, wait, I don't have to wait 4 weeks for the tractor to show up? We're good.
For sure.
That pole's only 10 hours away. That ain't bad.
yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't get to see my tractor for a month and a half.
Yeah. 500 miles is going to seem like a walk in the park versus 4,000.
Yeah. No, it'll be good. I am hoping that this is just going to be awesome. And that's I heard Stan Blagrave say this. They had a podcast there the other night with Beer Money, and that's what he said. He goes, "You got to treat this just like any other poll, and you really do. But boy, you start, now all of a sudden things that you never used to be worried about, all of a sudden you're worried." So all I can say is we started it here a couple Saturdays ago, and it seemed happy. Sounded really strong here in the garage, like it was ready. So it's like, well, we're gonna have to. It got real that day. I shut the tractor off, and I told April, I go, the next time it starts, it'll be in Europe or in the Netherlands for competition, and then that's when it hits you. You're like, oh boy.
Yeah.
Well, like that's what I'm sitting here thinking. I'm like, wait, like, if you guys take extension cords, like, would it even like plug into somebody else's generator? Because like they have different
Not over there.
plugs,
They have a
everything.
different type of plug over there. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got I guess in the tent where the U.S. teams will be in the tent together, it's converted to our power.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So our stuff should work, but we're still taking our little generator with us as well, just in case. I think Hans said that I don't know if it was the pump to prime their oil or whatever. Maybe it was the heaters. I can't remember, but something wasn't enough power to run what they needed. So there's things that you don't even think of. She had to get a different blow dryer that'll work with their stuff,
Real world problems.
Yeah. Because if I recall, Europeans are 220 when we're running we're running a single pole and they're running a double pole.
Yep. So that's what's just things that you don't think about. Chargers for your phones. You got to have adapters and just all this little stuff that you just you don't think of, but.
Just for a 7-day trip.
Yeah.
Of a lifetime, though. Yeah. Trip of a lifetime.
Yeah.
One day we'll be looking back at this, and it'll just be, we're just saying, what'd you say, 50 something?
55 days.
55 days, and this will all it'll be here.
Yeah.
It'll be here. But we were doing the same thing for Keystone. We couldn't wait for Keystone and couldn't wait for Keystone. We're so excited. And then Keystone comes and goes, and then the next trip is the Netherlands. And then, when this is done, it'll be, getting ready for, Bowling Green and, all of our pulling around. It just, time starts flying here. Once, we're wishing so hard for summer, and it'll be here before you know it. Yeah.
And it'll be over before you know it, unfortunately.
That's right.
It goes by fast, way too fast.
Yeah.
Way too fast.
It'll be a good year.
Yeah.
Well, if you got two world-renowned photographers following you over there, you're going to have Adam and Claire behind you. That means there'll be video cameras following you around and documenting the whole thing from start to finish, right?
Yeah.
That would be awesome, actually. Adam said that. He said, you'll be so overwhelmed with people and stuff going on. And he said, that's what we're there for, And Adam is very good at getting the candid shots.
Don't make his head grow. Don't make Adam's head grow.
So I'm super excited for that part of it too.
Yeah.
Definitely.
He's not as good as JR.
Oh no! Please don't drag me into that fight. No. I'll stick to videography. I had a pretty good day Sunday shooting photos. I had a good time.
Just messing. You guys all do a great job.
Yeah, I learned a lot from Adam. So yeah, he's been a big help to me.
Very
Sure,
talented.
on the photography side of stuff.
Yeah, it always.
Yeah, it's going to be great. It's going to have a good time.
It always blows my mind when I think back of all the cool people that we met through our travels with pulling and
Gee,
with
thanks,
Claire.
Dwayne. Wow.
Yeah, and going back to Claire, I remember Claire showed up at our little local pull. He was a guy from Lancaster, and I guess JR, you were there too that time, or how was it?
Probably.
That's how you
He's
got
probably
to know
with
him?
me. He might have been with me or met me there or something. Probably.
Yeah, it was. So I can remember back when we met these guys all the first time, and they're kind of interested in little local events, and the next thing you know, they're doing pulls all over the country.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Got to start somewhere.
I'll stay local now, so pretty much.
I always love all the different people that do videos and pictures, and everybody always catches that really cool picture, that BB videos there with that pull at Keystone, and then there's the picture on the video on YouTube with the tractor half kind of up the sand pile with the dirt flying straight up the back. I mean, everybody just gets these cool shots.
Mm-hmm.
It's just really, really cool. So
everybody has a unique point of view. Everybody does it just a little different, which is what's good about it. So.
Yeah, no, it's I'm always grateful, and we're always very quick to buy pictures and videos and whatever, because it's those shots that you don't normally get.
Those are the memories.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Man, we're having a long show. We're usually done in an hour. We're an hour and 37 minutes. Wow.
I'm a long talker usually.
Okay, we appreciate it. We appreciate it.
That's all right.
Drive a fence post and I'll talk to it.
I think I've seen Dwayne doing that before. He was talking to something out in the pits one day at Lebanon.
Probably talking to myself.
We're completely normal. It's the rest of the world that's messed up.
Yeah. Everybody else is secluded. They don't have any fun in life. When you don't have anybody to talk to, you start talking to yourself, and you can have a heck of a conversation.
I do. And my wife will say, "What'd you say?" No, I'm just talking out loud. Talking to myself out loud. I do that a lot.
When you start having disagreements with yourself, that's probably not good.
Yeah, that's when it's time to go to
Don't
sleep.
tell our secrets. It's when you start answering yourself.
Yeah.
That's when you got to worry.
Yeah.
Me and my coworker, we sit side by side, and we're both the same way. Like we just have to talk it out. So we'll both be sitting there talking to ourselves. And when we added our third team member, she's like, "I don't know how you guys do it." I'm like, sorry, put some headphones in. It's not going to change. She's like, every time you guys start talking, I think you're talking to me. And I was like, no, I'll say your name first if I need you.
Ever since they came out with these watches now that you can answer your phone on, somebody's sitting there talking, and you're like, "Who are they talking to?" And they're talking to the watch.
Or they have like the little teeny tiny Bluetooth headset in, and you're like, what?
You're trying to answer a conversation that you're not even a part of.
Yeah.
Guilty. Guilty. Carried on a conversation with a person I have no idea who it is, and they're not even talking to me. That happened.
That happens to the job to me all the time. I can't work if I don't have my earbuds in, and people start talking to me like, "I'm on the phone." Sorry, I wasn't talking to you. I'm on the phone.
It happens all the time.
Mm-hmm. It's all good. It's all good. Well, no, this has been fun. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. We enjoyed having you on, man.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Happy for you guys. Very happy for you too. And the crew's going with you. You got a good crew going with you. So
For sure.
Yeah.
You'll have a ball.
Excited to follow along on Facebook.
That will be an exciting time. I can't wait to. It'll be fun in a month and a half or whatever, or 2 months when this is all over, to see how it all went. I'll see if I was worried for nothing with my tractor.
Or if you really did need that starter.
Yeah.
But no, it'll be good. I gotta just I got to put it in the trailer so I can quit looking at it, and and then we'll be fine. We'll be fine.
You'll still climb in the trailer and look at it. So
Yeah.
I will, and I always think, I just think of things that, did I ever check this? Well, I've never checked it before, and now all of a sudden I'm worried about it. I just gotta let it go and put it in God's hands. There we go.
There you go.
That's the
be
best
good.
Let it
place
all
to put it.
go.
Best place to
It'll be
put it.
fine.
Yeah,
So that would
absolutely.
be good. But yeah,
Okay. Any more questions, Kendra, Dwayne?
Nope, I'm all good.
That was a very good conversation.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
Appreciate
Especially
having
done it
y'all
last
here.
week. Sorry about that. We had
talking
meetings
is
this
the
week, so.
highlight.
All right,
Yeah.
thanks, you guys.
Yes, thank you. You guys have a wonderful night.
Yeah, and
You
good
too.
luck. We'll be in touch. We'll definitely. We want you to come to Center Hall for sure if you can.
Yeah,
We'll be in touch with you.
We will definitely shoot for that. We're all about doing something different, so yeah.
Okay. Yep.
I would love to do it.
Perfect.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you guys.
All
All right.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
All
it.
right.
Good luck.
Safe travels.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Okay. All right. With that said, I guess we'll be back next Wednesday. There you go. Whoop. Now, what's going on here? There we go. Jeez. That's weird. Anyway. Tax season's done for now.
Tax
Kendra's
season's
happy.
done. I have
Okay.
2 more weeks of doing quarterly payroll stuff, and then
Ooh, I forgot about them.
yep.
Tax season.
Oops.
I didn't.
I'm a day late.
Tax season's done. I thought that you got to
yesterday.
do all the taxes
Oh, well.
that have extensions filed on them.
You send the
Actually,
check, they're going to cash it. Trust me.
yeah, I think this year wasn't our least amount of extensions, but there was quite a few that only had like 20, 30 clients.
Oh,
And
nice.
that's a good year for us. So
Yeah.
Good.
Well,
Okay.
mine are all done and taken care of, and now I get to move on to 2025.
yeah. Ball field 3 to 4 nights a week. Tara knows all about that.
Yeah.
Is that how often
Yeah.
they play? Or is it
My
still
sister
practices?
has 3 kids, and all 3
Oh.
kids are on different teams.
Oh no.
So, like next Wednesday, I actually have 2 games, 2 different locations. So I don't know how we're doing that. One game starts
what,
at
you take-
5,
you
one
take
game
some of
starts at 6.
So you take some of the kids and she takes some of the other ones.
Yeah, because then my brother-in-law is a coach for my nephew's team. So he and because they are gluttons for punishment, very much so like me.
Mhm.
My sister is also in charge of the concession stands.
Oh jeez. So you got yeah.
Yeah. So like tonight on the way down, I got a phone call. Can you stop and get funnel fries? We're out of funnel cake fries in Sharpsburg. So that's why I was driving so
Now you're a chauffeur. The boys
Yeah.
wanted to do basketball, and they would have both been on 2 different teams, and it would have been 2 practices a week, 4 times a week. And I'm like, no, that's not happening. We're just going to do baseball. They're on the same team. It's 2 nights a week, sometimes Saturdays, and that's enough. So I don't have to worry about Wednesday night games until for another 3 weeks or so. But I can, Brenda goes too, so I can jet out early.
Yeah, like Tara said, Dylan Moore is and Davey is, I think Davey's an assistant coach, or I don't know what his official job title is, but Davey is coaching too with Kyle, and we're more motorsports, the green team. So
Green team.
You're close enough to each other that you're in the same area almost.
my sister is, my sister lives in Boonesboro. So
I gotcha.
Yeah. And I said, the worst thing is, when you have 3 kids like that, you can't just pick and choose which game you're going to. So it's an all or none situation. And by design, I'm an all kind of girl. So, so yeah, we got the More Motorsports team, the Ladybugs, and I forget what Aubrey's team is. She's just on T-ball, so
Ah,
you're just lucky they're not playing in the dirt on the back
Yeah.
back 40. So
yeah.
T-balls where you got to guide them so that they make it to the base and not go the wrong way, right?
where you hope they run to first and not third. Yeah.
You went to school with Tara.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Old Boonesboro High School. Me and Tara go way back.
No clue. I didn't know that you guys were tight.
I think you were
Just kidding.
2 years. Yeah, I think there's 2 years between us, Tara. We're not going to talk about how old we are on the interwebs here, but
It's just a number. Just remember, it's only a number.
25. It's not that old.
Yeah.
When you get up into my numbers, that's when you do not talk about it.
Yeah, that's right. Joel's in T-ball, Tara's boy, Tara's son.
Mhm.
Oh, it's so much fun to watch them, but at the same time, it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
You're
That's
like,
when
how hard is it to pick up the ball and throw it to first?
that's where you have a very very relaxed, chill coach, right?
Very patient.
Yeah.
Patience is key. But yeah, so I got one in, the youngest is in T-ball, then the middle child, the girl's in coach pitch, and then Caleb's in minors. So it's insane. It's crazy. Yeah, I think every night between now and Memorial Day, I have one free night a week, and that's it. So yeah, what free time?
What free time? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it only lasts for a month.
Put Tara's comment on there, because that is exactly
Oh.
what T-ball is. We told Joel to run home, and he said,
He
"I
don't
don't
wanna
want to
go
go home."
Don't want to go home yet.
That is T-ball to a T right there.
Night,
or
brother.
they start running and they don't stop.
Yeah. Oh, it's a mess, but it's a fun little mess out there. So
Well, I was gonna have a little bit of fun with some Pennsylvania Dutch with Mr. Yoder, but the Miceks were on, so I decided I wasn't gonna start that. David's on.
So unfortunately, I will not be on next week. I'll be running between ball fields and chasing kids. So
What are we going to talk about? Easter bunnies and Easter eggs.
Well, we got
that's true. Easter is coming.
upcoming Berryville pool. So Berryville,
Yeah,
Greensboro. Yeah, our season's getting ready to take off full speed ahead here. So
Cool.
plenty to talk about.
Yep. Next Saturday is Berryville.
Oh,
Yep.
yes.
Yeah, tomorrow night, 8 p.m. We'll be with the antique tractor pullers. Tomorrow night here we'll have a live show. So busy week. At least I'm getting pictures now, so my phone keeps going off. So Olin's sending pictures for tomorrow night's show.
You got a whole day's worth of work to get your whole show together.
Nah, it don't take long. Yep.
Easter egg hunt in Easton, PA. I mean, Easton, Maryland. Sorry.
Easter
Wrong
egg
state.
hunt.
Easter egg hunt.
I think Mike's going there. I'm not sure. I got to get with Mike and see. He might be going. If he's still listening, he probably fell asleep. It's getting late for him. Okay. Well, all right. We'll be back next week. Sounds like it'll be me and Duante Beast.
Yes, sir.
We'll go over some upcoming pools, and maybe we'll try to pull a guest too. We'll see.
Somebody that can talk to fence posts, and it'll be a long one. We'll make it 2 hours.
Oh, Lord. Easy now.
When he said that, that just about made me, I
Yeah.
just about cracked up.
Yeah, it was funny. All right. That said, I got to go over here and find the outro. There it is.
All right. Adios, everybody. Next week.
See you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern. See ya.